I started off as a direct care professional, just direct care. My role as a direct care was to, of course, really provide the daily care for the individual and just activities of daily living, just really being the person who's now right there and present to the individuals. And then I moved to the house manager position, which is the direct support manager. And my role in that position was to manage the home, and not just one home. I had one group home and several supported living, people living on their own in apartments, and several individuals living with their families. So my goal was to coordinate their care. And then I soon moved over to the program coordinator position, which now involves I'm over 4 group homes and just more individuals. My role primarily is to be able to implement or oversee the implementation of the individual specific plan. So each individual has a person-centered plan, and so my role is to make sure that the plan is being implemented. I monitor services in that regard. I am able to train the staff that are actually doing the implementation. And of course, I work together with a team. An ISP team would consist of just different people who have an interest in the individual, different stakeholders. That could be the day program staff there. It could be the employer if this individual is employed in the community. It involves direct care staff. It involves the manager for the home. Any other therapists that may be involved in this person's life. It could be a speech therapist, occupational therapist, the behavior therapist if they have one. So all these people come together to form the plan for this person. And of course, the individual is at the center of the plan. So we're listening to what does this individual want. We create a plan. We create a plan along with them, because the plan is actually individual driven. Our primary focus is to make sure that people get out of life what they want, and that experience is actually positive for them. So our goal is to listen to what do they want, what do they need, what do they desire, what are some of the big things that they wanted out of life, and how do we make that happen. We partner with other organizations. We are nonprofit, faith-based. So we do partner with other organizations to see how do we create the networks for them to really be able to make this happen. So primarily that's what we do. People now have a better voice than they had before. There's more self-advocacy initiatives. There's people with disabilities want their voice to be heard. They realize their rights and they're exercising them. So their voice, I think, is clearer right now than it was a couple years ago. So they're able to actually say, this is what works for us, or this is what we want, and this doesn't work. So there's greater sensitivity, I think, within the different communities, or just in the state, in terms of people are more aware they're more aware of the needs of people with disabilities, because I think their voice is getting out there more. People are more aware in terms of, is our building accessible? And if it's not accessible, are we trying to make it accessible? So I think that the voice getting out there has been a huge difference over the period of time. And then of course, just people spearheading their own plans. People are able to say, this is what we want. So it no longer is, oh, this is your plan, this is what works. We're seeing goals being revised from the basic need-based goals, where I don't know how to brush my teeth, so a goal will be put in place to learn how to brush teeth. So that is changing to, I think it's slowly changing to goals being what a person wants out of life, not necessarily need-based. So I think that's a change we're definitely seeing, especially at Mosaic. Most of the plans, we want to focus them on what a person wants out of life, not what we perceive their needs to be. And how do we make that happen? I am just glad that I have this opportunity to actually affect change and not just affect change from a personal level, but also influence other people, that I can be the person that helps that direct care professional to realize the value of what they do. If I can influence people to give better services, staff to realize that there's a bigger reason they come to work beyond their paycheck, and realizing they cannot be paid. I mean, I don't think this job can fully pay you the worth of the change and the meaning you bring in a person's life. So if I can be the person that affects not only just the individual's life, but also the people in the industry, then I would say that I have made my contribution.